Hello everyone. In today's video I'm going to be continuing my Don't Starve series. In the last episode I did Wilson and Willow. Now I'm going to do Wolfgang and Wendy. Alright, first character on this list is Wolfgang right now. He has 200 of everything actually, HP, hunger, insanity, and something, well, y'all probably already saw this in the last episode. Willow started with a teddy bear and lighter. He starts with a dumbbell, which will break over time, but you can get better dumbbells. Anyways, his perks and quirks are he works hard to grow mighty, becomes wimpy without regular exercise, he can carry objects with ease, heavy ones to be specific, and he's also afraid of the dark and monsters. A little ironic since he's super strong, but we'll show more of that in his story. His birthday is October 2nd, and his favorite food is roasted potatoes, which is actually really effective, and roasted potatoes by themselves in the game are actually really good for healing. So he's kind of like that super strong character that can take down bosses real easy. How I like to use this character is I'll typically use him for learning reasons, like if I'm exploring how the rifts work, so that way I can do double damage and make it easier on myself. Other than that, I don't know if there's any really other uses that I like to use him for. Sometimes I use him for boss fights, sometimes I don't. Although most of the time I don't, and I just do it as Wilson, because in the last episode I mentioned I'm a try-hard Wilson player. Basically, he was a strong man in the circus, which, upon one of his acts, revealed that he was using some stage trickery, and in his act to lift a whole elephant on this platform, the platform turned out to be connected to the staircase that the elephant obviously had to go on to get to the platform. After that, the reason how the people found this out is because when Wolfgang was lifting the elephant, or so-called lifting the elephant, a mouse came out from the stage and scared him. That's why it kind of reveals why he's afraid of the dark and monsters, just kind of because of the story. His other background is he was probably in the military through some of the quotes of some of his items. I forgot which items though, I just remember hearing it on Google. He was also a farmer at one point, or probably grew up on a farm. His main disadvantages, when it says is afraid of monsters in the dark, the first time I thought this, well, when I first played it, because I didn't know anything about the game at all, I thought maybe he'd automatically run away from monsters or something. Turns out I was wrong. It just means he loses more sanity at nighttime and from bosses. I'd also like to show y'all Wendy, the next character. She has 150 hunger and HP and 200 sanity. 200 sanity is kind of like the usual for every character. Basically, she has a ghost bodyguard, her sister, Abigail. She's also comfortable in the dark, basically the opposite of Wolfgang. He's afraid of it and will lose more sanity, but she'll lose less sanity. She also can craft some ghost potions, which she can use to upgrade her sister, Abigail, for about a day, pretty much. But her disadvantage is that she does not hit very hard, and by that she does 25% less damage. Her birthday is November 11th, and her favorite food is banana pop. This is probably one of the most tragic stories. Basically, one day when Wendy and Abigail were playing, Abigail, sadly, fell off a rock into the ocean because she was at the top of this giant cliff that overlooks the ocean. Sadly, Abigail did not make it, which then Wendy's always been sad ever since. What a very tragic story. Okay, there's only two reasons people play as characters in this game. Either one, because they're super strong, or two, because they felt too bad for them. But anyways, with all the story aside, another thing to know is that Wendy is actually Maxwell's niece, and Maxwell is her uncle, so just keep that in mind. It doesn't affect gameplay, but I thought I'd just mention it anyway. Alright, now I'm gonna hop into the game. Alright, finally loaded in, which, as y'all can see, I've done a whole lot of stuff around spawn, just to make the place look a lot better. I also got super lucky and found a walking cane inside of sunken treasure, so now I have that. I was exploring how the new ocean update works and how to find Pearl's Island, because it took me like 4 days. Well, 4 in-game days, just to be specific. Alright, anyways, time to show y'all his ability. First up, here's the dumbbell I was telling y'all about. If I click lift on it, the little muscle meter on the right, upper right of the screen starts going up. If it goes up enough, my character will, I'll show y'all right now, get mightier, which then y'all will see that has B as an option to toss the dumbbell. So if I have the little circle on the bird and throw it, as y'all can see I just defeated the bird by throwing the dumbbell at it. You can basically do this with enemies as a way of damaging them with a ranged attack. He also has a coaching whistle, which I'll explain that in a minute. Just organize my inventory here. Alright, I guess I'll show you what the whistle does now. Basically, if you use it, you can begin coaching. However, if you're too mighty, like right now, he'll say that his muscles are too impressive and he wouldn't want to embarrass the others. Kind of funny, but a little annoying, because I'll tell you all what the whistle does and why you could or should craft it. Basically, if you have pigmen following you or other players, players will get a sanity bonus whenever you tweet it. However, pigmen, like if they're following you into battle, they'll get extra damage. So it's like a damage modifier, basically. However, you can't have double damage yourself, so it's up to you whether or not you want to be extra strong or have your teammates extra strong. Anyways, now here is the Mighty Gym, which, as y'all can see, I'll show y'all right now. If I enter it, a little meter goes on here. If you're on the Switch version, you just tap A to lift when it's on the actual orange part, which I keep messing up. Here we go. As you can see, it gets my character's mighty meter up. However, there's a way to improve this. If you load marble statues, or I guess anything heavy that the player carries behind their back on here, as you can see, now there's a yellow part, but also an orange part. The orange part will get you a little bit of strength, however you're aiming for the gold one because it gets you the most strength. As y'all can see, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Anyways, that's pretty much how the Mighty Gym works. The potato sacks are actually, you don't need potatoes to craft it, you just need simply some boards, some rope, and some cut stone to craft this. However, the potato sack, it's not a part of the recipe. You get them by default when you craft this, however you don't need to do anything extra for them. The marble statue you do need something for, which you'll need a potter's wheel, which in this case is something I have. Basically, now that I'm inside of my character's crafting menu, might as well tell y'all what everything does. The dumbbell is what allows the player to work out on the go. The golden one's like an upgraded version of this with more durability. The marble one's one with even more durability. And the purple one's probably the one with the most durability. Now the therm bell, it's kind of like the recipe for a thermal stone. Basically, it's a thermal stone, but also a dumbbell at the same time. It's kind of good. It depends on how you feel about it. I've never crafted one, but you could if you want to. A fire bell. If y'all remember me talking about the throwing dumbbell ability, it's gonna be like that. Hold on, my game's gonna lag. Here we go. Alright, basically, the fire one allows you to set enemies on fire, and the blue one allows you to freeze enemies, so it can actually be pretty helpful. And I already explained to y'all the coaching whistle. So it's pretty much all for his main, well, I guess sort of main abilities, which I'll explain more of his skill tree right now. He has 4 tabs. Chores, Training, Might, and Affinity. These are all somewhat, they're okay, however there's some better skill trees out there, which I'll explain right now. Chore Workout 1, 2, and 3 make it so he has a better chance at one-shotting structures and things when he breaks them. For example, if I'm cutting trees down, it takes a small amount of swings. A little tip to know is that when he's mighty, he actually has even more, even less swings. Like, normally it takes a character 15 swings of an axe to chop down a tree. For him, it's like 7 or something. Well, that's for the biggest tree, that is. He has a chance to sometimes just one-shot him and completely destroy the tree in one hit, so that's kind of what makes him better at chopping stuff. Same thing applies for stones. However, it also makes tools use like twice as much durability, so you have to keep an eye out for that. Also, his main perk, when he's mighty, he does double the amount of normal damage. So a punch that normally would have done 10 damage, well, if he's in normal mode, will do 20 damage when he's mighty. Although I don't have any punching bags or enemies to show y'all on right now, so just take my word for it. Basically, he does double damage, he can chop and break stuff faster. He has to work out though. If he doesn't work out for a long time, he'll become wimpy, which he'll then do less damage, move slower. Basically, he won't be as good as he normally was. He'll be like less status than a normal character. Alright. Alright, now in his training tab, he has Gym Mastery 1. I didn't get this because I didn't think it was that necessary. But if y'all remember the gym over here, which I'll show y'all. As y'all saw, I was taking my time with this, clicking A on the button. However, with the Gym Mastery, it automatically does it for you, meaning you do not need any statue upgrades. However, I didn't find it that necessary due to everything else being somewhat better. Coach Wolfgang is the one that you use to unlock the coaching whistle, which I'm actually not sure if I mentioned it, but this character's name is Wolfgang, just so you're aware. Leg Day is the skill right underneath it, which it adds 10% movement speed when normal. If I'm correct, when you're Mighty Wolfgang, I'm pretty sure you can run faster, although it seems kind of slower right now. Basically, when he's in normal mode and not Mighty mode or Wimpy mode, he gets 10% extra speed. Dumbbell Developer is the one that allows you to craft the Therm Bell, Ice, and Fire Bell. These other four are from the original game. Well, when I say original game, I mean before his skill tree was released. Heavy Hitters 1 and 2 increase the damage of thrown dumbbells, so it's pretty self-explanatory. And then Push to the Limits 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 allow you to go past the normal Mighty Meter. If you'll look at my top right screen, you'll see the Mighty Meter. The arm on there looks super strong, and it's actually in purple. Normally it's in blue, but basically the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, let me show y'all right now, allows you to increase it. Which, if you're wondering what makes this useful, is basically when you hit enemies, you get a little bit of strength. Same thing for chopping trees and breaking rocks and stuff like that. It only goes up to a certain extent, but basically you can exceed this extent and make it last for longer. So that's what makes this thing super good. Now, Mighty Weapons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 basically add up to 25 planar damage. The first one being 5, next one being 10, next one being 15, the next one being 20, and then the final one being 25 planar damage. So it's actually pretty strong. And then for his affinity, which this is the same for both of them, you get 10% damage to lunar enemies, well, shadow aligned enemies actually. For the lunar one, you get 10, 20, plus 30 damage to shadow enemies, and then the shadow one does the same thing but for the lunar enemies. So basically you can decide which one you want to do more damage for. Defeat Celestial Champion to do more damage to shadow ones, and defeat Fuel Weaver to do damage to lunar enemies. Basically just a pretty simple and explanatory thing. This is probably going to be one of my easier skill trees to explain, which I'm actually grateful for that. Anyways, I don't think there's anything else I need to review on. Alright, with nothing else to explain, I'm going to swap out to the next character. Alright, now I'm playing as Wendy, which I have Abigail's flower in my inventory, which, when I use this, I can spawn in Abigail, Wendy's bodyguard. You'll notice on the top of, well actually you can't see it from this angle, but basically there's a meter which shows Abigail's HP. It starts out as 150, and then can increase to 300, and then up to 600, so she can have a total of 600 HP. But she has to kind of be exploring the world of the player. If you have one of these cisterns crafted, the process is a lot faster. Basically, you can craft the cistern for 3 boards, 3 cut stone, and 1 ashes. You can also recraft a new Abigail's flower with morning glories and fuel, dark fuel to be specific. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, she does less damage than a normal character, which if you want to get rid of Abigail, you can click return on the flower, or you can just attack her, which it'll make her obviously go away. Alright, now for all the potions. The first one and second one are both healing ones. The first healing one heals her like 900 HP throughout the entire game day. The secondary one is like a quicker one where it restores her health faster. However, makes it like it doesn't last as long. Like it only lasts like half a day, I think. This next one is a shielding one, And then the one after that is another shielding one, except the secondary shielding one allows the enemy to take damage back when Abigail uses her shield. And then this next one makes Abigail do more damage. Apparently it said on the description for it nighttime damage. I don't know if Abigail does more damage at nighttime, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll just have to wait and see about that. Well, I guess by wait and see I mean I'd have to figure that out myself. And then this final potion allows Abigail to get faster. It's not too necessary, however if you want it you can get it. Keep in mind all the potions last for only 1 day except for the secondary healing one, so it's just something to keep in mind. I always thought it was you use it once then you can use it forever, but apparently not. Now, right now, Wendy does not actually have any skill trees, so basically I'll be explaining, well, I'm just going to show you all some of my ideas for a skill tree for her. Basically, if they're doing a skill tree, maybe, I wouldn't doubt if it has some cistern buffs or something, maybe somehow makes Abigail stronger, but speaking of Abigail, I'm pretty sure the entire skill tree will probably be related around her, since pretty much players mainly play as Wendy for having Abigail by their side. So that's pretty much it. Unless they want to do a skill for Wendy where it makes it so that way she does more damage regardless of Abigail. Because if Abigail's attacking an enemy, Wendy attacks the same enemy, she'll do more damage. Almost if it's removing the downside of doing less damage. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. Also, I forgot to mention, on the flower, you can click Rile Up, which it'll make her attack any creature in sight, which you can actually see Abigail looks angry right now. Normal, angry, normal, angry. As y'all can see, it kind of goes back and forth like that. I don't think there's anything else to talk about on Wendy's skill tree. I mean, she doesn't have anything else, so yeah, that's kind of a weird state to leave it, because I'm normally used to talking about the character's skill tree. But since she doesn't have one, my only theory for it is that it's going to be Abigail related. Well anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, so please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Goodbye.